the winds. And as a consumer, I have no idea
what the wind does.
Yeah, what's the effect of wind?
It's probably, I'm probably more sensitive to it than most because my vineyard's up on a ridge and it just gets belted by the wind. Half of my vineyard, I've got a pine forest on the side of the hill, and which, as you drive up through it, you know, if people haven't been there for the first time, you take there at night, they get frightened. They think, where are we going here? Like, you know, we're off to some strange place. And then when you pop out the top, you're up on top of this ridge. The area of vines behind that's pine forest is quite protected from the wind, and the vines there will be big, healthy, strong. But the southern block, where the pine forest isn't, is just smashed by the wind all day. So the first 20, 30 rows, the leaves are all shredded, very tiny berries. You just get, you know, like, they don't yield very much fruit. The canopies, they can blow over. I mean, numerous times they've actually snapped the posts and blown everything over. So you've got to pick it all back up. We have very bad winds in sort of November, December. They used to come a little earlier, but now it's sort of November, December. And so we often have to go and put posts out to hold the canopies from blowing over. So it's really quite devigorating, and it sucks a lot of moisture out of the ground too. So even if you're irrigating, we don't put a huge amount of water on, but you're never going to get a huge amount of growth because the wind's taking all the water anyway. Like, it's just wicking it out. And I mean, when these winds come, they can last for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, I generally run away in November. I don't hang around anymore. I can't stand the noise. It's just that roaring in your ears all the time. So you're better off in the winery than dug out in the vineyard.
So it sounds to me like the winds are playing a role with the canopy, exposing their grapes to sun in what is essentially the beginning of your summer. So what you'll see in Marlborough, a lot of people will open their canopies up. Like, we all leaf pluck to a degree to let more sunshine in on the fruit. And there'll be some sections that you won't do that. You'll just leave it, and the bunches are almost fluorescent green. I mean, I've got photos of where the fruits come in and it's tipping out of the truck or whatever or out of the press, and it's just like a river of fluorescent green. Those really bright green fruits are the ones that are hidden away in the canopy. Other blocks where either the wind's devigored it or we've heavily leaf plucked it and we take all the leaves out, the sun comes in, they get more golden and you get more tropical aromas. You get lower acidity, probably nicer, riper fruits like passion fruit, things like that. There's a couple of blocks on the way up the Waihope where the particular wine companies that own those, they take all the leaves out really harshly. Like, there's no leaves through the fruiting zone at all. Like, they look like a shorn poodle, and it's just, you've just got canopy at the top and then just open fruit. And I mean, I've done little bits of that type of thing, but I don't really need to. It's where we are. Yeah. So the wind obviously can be stressful, but in a way, if you're aware of what it's doing, it can be helpful.
Yeah, it's you can do it mechanically. I mean, you can go and hand pluck the leaves off, or you can do those things. But yeah, to me, I think that's part of cool climate winemaking and going to these sites is that it gives you a lot of opportunity to do things. I mean, if you're in Australia or somewhere and you're in a hot climate, then you don't have the high natural acidity that we've got. You know, I mean, Marlborough, you always get enough sugar, or if you don't, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've made wines there that are 10.5%, 11% alcohol, and people have said, oh, why is the alcohol so low? It's like, well, that was the season. You know, I didn't want to leave it any longer, or I was happy with the flavours where they were, or I was worried that the disease was going to come, the rain was going to come, or whatever. So I think it's all just part of making wine in a cool climate. But I personally think there's more opportunity in a cool climate because you don't have to interfere with anything. Like, I don't deacidify. I virtually never ever add sugar. Never to these products. I think there's something to be said for just letting the site and the nature do its thing.